How old is the oldest toothbrush in the world? The oldest antique toothbrush? Well, I'm going to tell you. It was invented in England by a very interesting chap called William Addis. Does that name ring a bell? Addis. He was in prison at the time. He was a prisoner. He was in prison in London for, what was he in prison for? Rioting. That's what he was doing. He was rioting. And whilst in prison, he witnessed one of the prison guards brushing up the stone wet grotty floors. Can you imagine what life was like in prison at this time in England? And he came up with this wild idea that maybe if he's kind of miniaturized the brush that was brushing the floor and made it for the mouth and the teeth, the dog's here, that's why I've got this in my hand, then that would be a jolly good idea, because prior to the invention of the toothbrush as we know it, how did people clean their teeth? Well, they used to use feathers from birds and pick out all the grime. They used to rub salt on their teeth. Rosie. And also they used to rub soot from the fire onto their teeth. Apparently that would, you should try it. It might work, you never know. But it's cheaper to buy a toothbrush. So back to the toothbrush. So William Addis, he got a bit of bone from a pork leg and some pig bristles, and he was allowed in the prison to create this miniaturized brush. Started brushing his teeth, and lo and behold, it worked. This is Raby Castle Car Show, by the way. Very nice location. It worked so well that when William was released from prison, he set up a business called Addis Toothbrush Manufacturing, something like that, and he started making toothbrushes, and he made himself an absolute fortune. I was driving home from the car show and I forgot to mention in the video that you've just been watching that the invention by William Addis of the toothbrush actually changed oral health dramatically overnight for the British public. Can you imagine what health was like in the mouth department in those days? So incredible changes. Britain first and then the rest of the world. Right, back to Raby Car Show. His sons took over the business, and the business remained in the same family up until recent years. The company Addis Toothbrushes are still producing, I'll get to the date in a minute, they're still producing toothbrushes, and they make, I don't know, 100 million toothbrushes a year. So when was the first antique toothbrush ever made? It was made in prison by William Addis, the Englishman in there for rioting good man, in around, we don't know for sure, in around 1780.